Bonjour, everybody. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I actually live in France and I have done for the last 11 years. So I thought I would make a few comments on what has been going on here lately since the whole freaking world seems to know about it. I can't believe the proportions this has taken. Anyway, please excuse me for having a week puff. I am rather stressed out because this video just ain't going right. I think I forgot to press record last time and I was getting wound up by it because I am very much affected by what's going on here. It's not just me, it's my kids. You know, I've lived here in France for the last 11 years and I won't be able to leave France most likely for at least another 12 years until my youngest kid has grown. So um, you know, like it or not, I'm stuck here. And it's freaking scary. It's freaking scary after what happened on the 7th. Um, when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, whatever. It's sickening, it's tragic, but you know, you get so used to hearing things like that going down all the time. Um, and my other half, he's like, oh, did you like see what went on in Paris and everything today? And I'm like, ah, well, I don't watch, like news and shit, mainstream news, and I wasn't even on Facebook because I wasn't feeling so great. So I had no, I'd been quickly on Facebook. I'd seen this, 12 people dead or whatever, and he was like, yeah, the guy at Charlie Hebdo and everything. I was like, oh, that, no, they're probably, probably not exactly what they're saying in the media, but it's tragic and all the rest of it. And then all of a sudden, everywhere you look, je suis Charlie. All right then, hello Charlie. Hi Charlie. How's it doing, Charlie? Like you what? Okay, I get the whole solidarity thing. I get that. But the French being showing solidarity is just like that's funny. That's funny because the French. I'm sorry. Um, I'm not saying the English are wonderful or anything. They've got their flaws as well, but the French are very self-centered, very much so. They lack empathy, more so even than the English, I would say. In my experience, I've only lived in England. I only lived in England for 20 years, and I've only lived here for 11 years. So, based on that experience, I would say the French are even more selfish than the English. But hey, it's all part of this like mass brainwashing, psychological warfare thing that they've got going on here. And I personally, I smelt a rat when it came out so quickly, the I am Charlie thing. I have to be honest, but I didn't straight away say false flag. I thought, what it could be, it couldn't be. I'm not going to jump on the false flag bandwagon, but I'm not going to be so stupid as to rule it out completely without just, taking a bit of a look at it. And I have taken a bit of a look at it, and it looks to me like it could well be a false flag. I'm not saying that people didn't die in it. Now on that point, I must be very clear. I do think that people were killed. I do think the cartoonists were killed, and obviously you have this suicide as well. The guy who committed suicide, who was investigating it, or was suicided. Who knows? But either way, I think he was perhaps onto something, onto the truth. That's why he died, whether it be by his own hands or whether he was suicided. And that is a tragic loss as well. It is, it's sad. It's horrendous, but what is more horrendous is what's happening now. It's like the fucking They Live movie. These people are even more like zombie sheeple than ever with the I Am Charlie thing. And I find it scary. I mean, it's bad enough that we were shuffling towards a police state, and every time you dare speak out against the government, there could be just like a couple of hundred or a few thousand people, even in my town here in Nantes, protesting, and rightly so. Most of the time, rightly so. I agree with them. But I'm an anarchist, so I just don't think you should be asking the government for anything. But I understood their grievances. I completely was sympathetic to their cause. And of course, then you get the agent provocateurs, and you know, it kicks off. You know, the shit goes down, and the shit hits the fan, and it's just like a mini war zone in the town centre. And yet, you can have millions of people marching in Paris, and it all goes off quite well. Not a single hitch. Don't tell me that there weren't no troublemakers in that lot. But it, you know, it was government approved. It was in a government approved march. So of course, you know, and that's funny as well. You never get problems when there are government officials or anybody important in these things, you know. And yes, it's all very sad and it's all very worrying. You know, it just highlights the stupidity of people not thinking about this carefully and not seeing. I mean, as it is, the French aren't exactly welcoming to foreigners. I should know, and especially with my kind of skin and everything. Yes, I don't think I haven't been a victim of open racial hatred, but I think I have been a victim of prejudice at certain moments, just because of the colour of my skin. And the fact that I'm foreign and a woman, obviously, because in France, believe it or not, but they're still pretty sexist. Now, I'm no feminist. I believe in equal opportunities for men and women, and I think they deserve equal respect. You know, we can be equal and different at the same time, and I think that feminists don't get that. But hey, perhaps I'm generalising there. But I'm going off topic. So yeah, I mean, the fact that they're bringing in like 10,000 troops into Paris now for the so-called sensitive areas, basically where the poor people live. That's what they mean by sensitive areas. Yeah, I think that was quite funny. It just sort of rang a bell in my head because in the last couple of years there have been a lot of ads for the French army, and they were specifically asking for 10,000 recruits, and now it's 10,000 soldiers in Paris. And also in their ads, the emphasis was on protecting civilians and protecting the homeland. So it kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? But yes, it is quite frightening. I mean, as it is, a few years back, I noticed when I went to pick up someone from the station that there were armed soldiers, and I was like, well, something happened? Is there a reason for this? But apparently not, because it's every time I've been to the station since, there have been armed soldiers wandering around, strutting around with their big fuck off guns, you know, like, aren't I the big tough man, you know? No. No, you're not a big tough man. I think that's actually more scary than when I was a kid back in England. I was a teenager when 9/11 went down, and obviously the security went up, and I lived in a naval town, so you had like armed guards at the gates of every naval base, even the officers' mess, on several street corners in certain areas, depending, you know, and that was a bit unnerving. But I think it was even more worrying to see them at the train station here in France. Not only because, you know, it's a freaking train station, for God's sake, but also because there's just a look of arrogance and, you know, self-satisfaction on their face. They're just like, yeah, I got a big gun, yeah. You know, now you've got to respect me, kind of thing. It's, you know, it's so sad. It's so sad to see how the people here in France are so shallow, so stupid, such a lack of empathy, really, and yet they're playing the empathy card here with the whole "I am Charlie" thing. Oh, it's just so messed up. It's just, you know, and I was hopeful. I was hopeful for the human race until recently, and now this has just been a bit of a blow for me, to be honest. Latest events in France, and you know, I have my theory on who's behind this. You know, I'm not saying I know, but from the looks of things, it is Israel that is behind this, and from the looks of it, it was a false flag. It's not because I'm jumping on the conspiracy theorist bandwagon or whatever. It's just that that's what it looks like, very much so. I'll be very surprised if it's not. But I actually, as I said, I've looked at what's been going on, and that's what it looks like to me. And I think anybody who rules that out completely without even looking into it, I think that's very stupid of them. And I know that certain people have done, and I think that's just because it has hit a nerve with them. And as I just want to be absolutely 100% clear. I'm not saying that nobody died. I'm just saying that it wasn't necessarily Islamic extremists. I'm not saying Islamic extremists don't exist, but I think in the vast majority of cases, these people are used as Ponzi's and as pawns in the games of the globalists, the Illuminati, whatever you want to freaking call these people. It's very sad, and I really wish that people would just wake up, start caring about each other and about what's happening, and use their freaking brains, deprogram themselves. And I can't see that happening here in France. I really can't. And yeah, I'm very sad about that. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. I just thought, since I'm here in France, I just thought I would say a few things about that. And as I said, that most, the I Am Charlie thing, it was absolutely straight after the events took place. These 10,000 troops in Paris, and they've been recruiting 10,000 troops these last couple of years. It's all very fishy. It's all very, very fishy. And apart from the fact that the apparent culprits of these shootings, well, the actual culprits, obviously they pulled the trigger, but that they were known terrorists. It's like, I don't know if any of you remember, a while back there was a guy called Mohammed who was on a scooter, and I think he shot someone outside a school, and then he took a hostage, and it smells similar. It has that similar stench to it, this event. I think there was some ID left lying around in that case as well, but I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. Maybe I'll look into it, maybe I won't, because I don't actually spend an awful lot of time now on the internet doing this sort of thing, and especially not for false flags, because I've just, I'm sick and tired of it all, and people are so fucking stupid. It's just like, when you make these videos, when you start talking about false flags, you're preaching to the choir, or you're going to just get people who are so far in denial it's unbelievable, and they're not going to listen to you anyway. So it's really, what is the point in talking about this? I know I'm being really defeatist, but I think I'm being realistic as well. It's just a real pity that those of us who actually have a clue what's going on are going to be dragged down with the rest of those sheeple zombies. It's tragic, but that's the way it's going right now, unfortunately. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, as I said, I live in France, so this is going down in France. This is affecting me and my kids, so I just thought I'd say a few words on it. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you. Thank you for listening. If you did to the end, well done you. Feel free to leave comments, as long as you're not being rude, in the comment box, and I shall speak to you when I speak to you.